Hello, Troy White, Hoodoo Financial, and I want to talk about a phrase that came to my mind that that I always find interesting, and I just want to break it down, talk about it. The phrase is, "Being broke is expensive," and that's funny to me because it is so true. And not only is it like true anecdotally, we could come up with ways to laugh and joke about it, about how that is true. It is factually true from an economy standpoint, a financial planning, a financial analysis standpoint. And so that's what I want to talk about. First off, and most importantly, I would say the impact occurs or is involves your credit. Being broke is expensive. The broker you are, traditionally, usually, most likely, the worse your credit is. I don't know if it's the chicken or the egg, which one comes first. Was you broke and then your credit got messed up, or did your credit get messed up, which caused you to go broke? It's a little bit of both. They both are falling at the same time. And for many people, they never had anything other than both. They've always been broke and they've always had bad credit. So, that's a reality too. Let's face it. So, being broke is expensive. So, let's tackle the credit side first. The worse your credit is, the broker you're going to be. And here are some of the ways that you are a broker. The worse your credit is, the harder it is for you to find housing because of your credit score. Um, the worse your, or the, it could cause you to be forced to find housing in a less than desirable neighborhood from a safety standpoint, but also from a transportation standpoint, health standpoint, sanitation standpoint. Um, um, we could even say your mentality, because of the place that you're going to be forced to rent is maybe in an area that's visually unpleasing, and day in and day out, that just wears on your emotions, your psychology. So there's not just a financial toll that's being taken, there is a mental toll, and there's not just push it deeper. So you're forced to be in this low income neighborhood because your credit is bad. So you couldn't rent in the more desirable areas. So now you are forced because of your credit. So remember, credit is about trust. And I'll talk about that on another video, what trust really is. Trust, money and credit are trust. So if somebody refuses, some financial institution refuses to lend me credit, they're saying they don't trust me. They think I'm bad. I'm not going to pay them. I'm going to take something from them and not give them what I said I'm going to do. That's what credit is. So by them refusing you, they're saying, no, we don't think you good. Straight up. That's what it is. So even for a person who has never even built credit, that's still the answer. You still fall in that category. Oh, I don't trust you. You're not good enough. I don't know you good enough. I don't know them things you do. You know credit here. It doesn't matter if you really pay your bills or not. I know some people who pay their bills, But you know what? The credit that builds up good credit as well. So I won't dive into the credit. I'm not a credit expert. I got a certain mental concept and almost hostility towards credit, and I know that credit is needed. But I'll give you my philosophy on credit. I believe that you shouldn't even have a credit card. I don't see a purpose for that at all. But I listen to those who do. I can understand their points of view, but I just disagree. And so the only thing that I believe you should use credit for is a business loan or a or real property, real estate. Maybe you have some others. So if it's not a business purpose, you need to buy some equipment for your business. Then, or you're not trying to buy a business or start your business. Then why are you using credit to support your life? We need to build your life to support your life, not live off of a dream. And that's what I mean. So being broke is expensive. So just the fact that you are broke means you're going to rely more on credit. So but the broker you are, in the eyes of the credit agencies, you are less than trustworthy. And since you are less than trustworthy, for me to front you $1, I'm going to charge you more. So a trustworthy person, or a person who is deemed trustworthy by a creditor, receives my dollar for let's just call it 2 cents. I'll loan you my dollar for a few minutes. You can go buy a candy bar, bring me back $1.02. All right. But for you say you want to go get that candy bar. Here's the dollar. Bring me back $1.25. You say, but you only charge that dude 2 cents. But this person, I know them. I know where he live. I know where his mama live. I can get my 2 cents. I can get my dollar back. So I'm only charging them 2 cents. I don't know you. And I called over there to the credit agency, and they said you don't pay people back. So it's going to cost you 25 cents. For me to let go of this dollar is more of a gamble. So that is literally what's going on. So your life is going to cost more because you broke. And so then you will say, well, I don't have to use credit. I don't really use credit, that much. If my credit bad, so what? Or you try to excuse this. You try to come up with an answer as to why what I'm saying is not true. And there's just, life happens. And so if you didn't plan already, if you're a person who is a wise, financial steward and your financial planner, saver, investor, you understand what I'm talking about. So you won't feel that I'm vilifying you in any way. But the common, regular person, let me let you in on some secrets that you know, but you don't know you know. There is a credit continuum. And basically, you get some credit, you use it up, you pay it down, you use it back, 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 you use it back. So that's the continuum. But how does that happen? Why? You always think in your mind, well, I'm going to pay it down. First of all, your regular life takes up all your money. So if you're a person who don't plan and budget, I'm going to touch on that second, because all of this stuff, it starts because you never budgeted in the first place. But all right, if you're a regular person, you don't budget, then what happens is there's something called lifestyle creep. So your lifestyle creeps up to whatever amount of money you make, whatever amount of money you got, even if you don't make money. If I got $10, my life is, I'm going to spend it. If I got $10,000, then I know a way to spend it. If I got $10 million, then I know a way to spend it. See, all of those are the same mentality. So, versus if I got $10, I'm gonna save 10%. If I got $100, I'm gonna save 10%. If I got $1,000, I'm gonna save 10%. If I got $10,000, I'm gonna save 10%. And you do that all the time, you're gonna end up with more than that person is who's gonna run through that 10 million. When you hit your 10 million, your 10 million is magnified because you've been saving and investing along the way. But back to the credit continuum. So what happens is, let's say you get $500 on that, you got bad credit or something, or no credit, they give you $500 credit limit. So what happens is, the reason you're spending this money off of this credit card in the first place is because when you get your check, your rent, your phone, your cell phone, your house, your kids, this, your that, all your bills takes up all that money. So you might have just a little bit left and you nervous about that all month. Like, damn, okay, I don't want to, I got to leave that cushion there, all month. And so if you get a credit card, that breathes a sigh of relief for you. And then that sigh of relief is pleasure, right? And you say, you know what? On my lunch break, I keep looking at them shoes. I should go get them. That's only $100. You go get those shoes and, that's another monthly bill. Because the shoes don't bring you no economic benefit. You just add it on to the pile. Even if we just stop right there. You just add it on. Remember, you was broke in the first place. So let's say we stopped right there. You didn't use no more of this card for a minute, but you did add on to the pile of which there was no more space to add on. So what you're going to do is pay the minimum. And the minimum is maybe $15 or $25, right? So let's call it $25. You pay $25 as a minimum, but remember, you didn't have no extra. So you're forced to use the credit card to replace the $25 that you keep dipping into. You kept dipping in to and so that causes a problem somewhere else. You're gonna feel that pain eventually. So that somewhere else is gonna be somewhere important, like your PG&E. I'm in Oakland, California. That's Pacific Gas and Electric. Wherever you at, your water bill, your power bill, some sort of mandatory expense that you have. And so you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to use a couple hundred extra that I was gonna use here or there. So you're gonna eventually need to compensate in all of these areas until finally the only place you can fill those gaps is off this credit card. So the continuum continues. So now you were forced to add that 200 that you have dug a hole into yourself over them shoes, over them $100 shoes. You have dug a $200 hole real quick. So that $200 hole is replaced by going to this credit card, of which I've already used $100. So now I got $300 on the card. Hey, it's getting more expensive. Remember, the broker you are, the higher your interest rate. So that means I'm paying more for the money. So for that $1, remember, I'm paying more. I'll do a quick calculation for you. I got found a financial calculator here. They got these on cell phones now, but I still feel special, feel extra smart because I got all these nice doodads that regular calculators don't have. So so $300, and let's say the interest rate is 18%, right? That's what it's going to be, something like that. So 18, bam, and shoot, I don't know how long do we want to say you're paying on this? If you were paying it down, and if you want to pay it off really quick, then you can just easily pay it. But if you stretch it out over, did I say the interest rate already? I done messed up the calculation talking to you. I forgot which buttons I pressed already. So I'll do the calculation in a second. Let me write down the parameters. What was I trying to calculate? But the point that I wanted to make is that if you are paying forever on this amount, I can show you the amount you're gonna end up paying. So that's what I wanted to do. So let's say that little $300 that you was paying, and if I'm going to pay $25 a month, that's the payment, and for a future value of 0 at 18% annual interest rate, that is going to take me 11 years to pay that. Wow. That's interesting. So that's what I mean. It's going to take you, it's going to take you that long to pay off this money, this little bit of money. That's because they keep dragging you out. It's set at a rate that's designed, and they try to attract you by, hey, just pay the minimum. No problem. They love that because they're going to easily get that $300 back. There was a company, I went to court with them. I wasn't paying it. I refused to pay that. When I felt gaffled, I was like, oh, no. I'm going to court. They eventually sold that. They sold it to this company, that company, this company, did try to collect from me. I'm not paying you. And finally I tried taking the small claims court. I lost, but the 7 years went by. Psych. You won't get that. So back to the credit continuum. So I was explaining to you that over time you're going to continuously dip into this credit, versus that you could be your own credit. And so remember, in our example, we were saying that we're putting the minimum payment at $25 per month. So what I'm really pointing to you is that if you save the $25 a month anyway, before you fell into that trap, then you wouldn't need that credit card. Because remember, once you get the card, they're going to say, hey, just pay this minimum. And it's 25 is what you're paying. So why don't I just do that anyway? How about you start doing that today? Pay yourself in a different pot. I want you to invest on a regular basis, consistently, but in a different pot. To combat this credit continuum, put $25 every month. And the reason I'm saying that's the minimum payment on one of these little janky credit cards. So just put $25 a month in an investment account, and don't buy no investment. Just let it sit there. You could put other money that you're investing with, but the reason I say put in an investment account is because it's going to be in a money market fund. So those $25 are making more sitting there than they would be in a savings account. But you can put in a savings account if you want to. I'm just getting too technical for you. So you're saving $25. So If you was doing that for 6 months, that's $300, is it? Or is it? Let's see. 6 times 25 equals 150. I thought, well, I was like, oh, that don't sound right. So that's $150. So in a year, you would have the $300. So you got the replacement for that credit card in 1 year. So remember what I said? I started off saying I don't even like credit card. I don't even think you need to have no credit card. You need to plan your life out. What you was going? You wanted them tennis shoes, or some woman. You said you wanted some high heels, whatever. Well, you gonna want that next year too. Why don't you start putting $25 every month away for savings for those things that you would have otherwise used that credit card for? And so what happens now, even if you already have that credit card, so what we're going to do is remember, and that's why I said it's a continuum. So I got this is $300 right here. Now we got the top row, we got this second row. This second row, these is pots. Let's call them pots, right? In this pot, we want $300, but we don't have it yet. We don't have nothing. In this pot, we got $300 used up. It's credit. We need to slowly pay our $25, and we shrink in this pot, right? Every month. Tick, 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 tick. We slowly paying that down. Well, we also putting $25 in here. Tick, 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 tick. And so what's going to happen is, oh no, it's like this. So 25 to here to pay this stuff off, 25 to here to add to the pot, and they're going just like this. So over time, you about to be your own bank. You your own credit card. So when this one up here is zero, get it up out of there. Stop doing that. Stop using other people's money to live off of. If you was gonna make some money off of that, okay. They just gonna be chasing you down all the time. Pay me, pay me, pay me, pay me, pay me. Why don't you be the one chasing people down, talking about pay me, instead of them chasing you? So that's what I'm saying. Now you got your own $300. So go get them shoes. You're going to pay yourself back because you never stop paying $25 to your account. I don't care what other investments you got out here. In this account is part of your continuum to prevent you from needing credit cards. Keep putting $25 in there. And remember, through financial planning, you're going to have a rainy day fund, which we call emergency fund. You're going to have short-term goal investments for short-term goals. You're going to have investments for medium-term goals. You're going to have investments for long-term, long time horizon goals. You're going to have investments to tackle specific savings, monetary goals that you need addressed. So assume that we talking about getting your whole life in order. So we doing that too. In addition to that, you need to be putting $25 every month in this account so that you don't end up stuck. Because when you do that, when you living off that much credit like that, the credit is gonna get used up, and now you back broke, but you more broke because the minimums is probably higher, but or you just stay stuck longer. You'll never get out of this trap. So live within your means, but let's raise your means. I'm not saying, oh, okay, I'm gonna draw back and be a broke person. I'm gonna, old Mother Hubbard with nothing in the cupboard when you could have went and used your credit card and filled the cupboard up. I ain't talking about that. I'm saying we want to do it right. We want to do it best. We're not trying to get over and gaffle. That is the way to stay broke with nothing. Getting over and gaffling, the hookup, that's hooking you down. That's not hooking you up. So we need to get the whole thing. I'm preaching now. We need to get the whole thing in order. So I'm sorry for going off like that. So back to the point was I was talking about this statement. Being broke is expensive. That's why it makes me mad, because it the broker you are, the more you need financial planning, but the less likely you are to plan, and the less likely you are to encounter financial services, period. So again, you're perpetually falling deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper in the hole. This thing keep floating down on me. And so you're gonna keep falling deeper and deeper in the hole. And but the way we get out, all right, you got financial services right now because I'm talking to you. So the way you get out of this entire trap is budgeting. Everything starts with that. And literally itemize what you do, what you gotta do. You know when you going past what you have, and sometimes you can't stop from doing that, right? But through budgeting, you'll find a better way to do it. So it's not as if you even necessarily have to cut back. You just need to prioritize and and put the things in the right order. So this has happened to me before, and I know it's happened to you because it's the way banks work. I would have the automatic payment thing going. I'm like, my bill's straight. It's paying. All right. But, timing, the way my bank account is set up is like this, is like that, right? So the money come in on this day, but I had the bills set up to go out on that day, or whatever. Even if it's my own financial mismanagement, I spent more than I thought. I'll accept the blame as well, right? If that's what happened. But the point is, money is coming, right? So what happened was I had all these little bills, a $30, a $10, a $5, some, even like things I bought some coffee, even them little things. Well, they didn't hit on that day. So I thought, oh, okay, I must have money. So I must have the money, right? But no, it hit a couple days later and all these other things hit. But I had this chunky bill, right? That, oh, you could have let that one bounce. But they did the chunky one first and let all the little ones bounce. So instead of planning it for helping me out, they was working against me. And, this is just a known tactic of banks. They're working against me by charging me more insufficient fund fees for each one of those little payments versus one time for the fatter bill that was more than all of them, right? You could have just bounced me on that one and charged me once. And then they even called me. I could have found, I got money over here, money over there, money over here, money over there. I'm going to move something. So, but the point is, that did me, right? So I left that bank. But that is the reason why you need to involve budgeting. Because if you can get a hold of your finances and not have to deal with these issues like what these banks are doing, it's gonna be better off for you. So, but back to the $25. You put the $25 into your investment account consistently. Even if you use $100, you're still paying yourself. You're the credit card. So by budgeting, you're gonna include doing that thing. So your budgeting has to be done. You need to itemize what you're spending and and that helps you prioritize what you're doing. There's one of those, it could be a myth, or but it's something that I go by. I still tell people is that supposedly, I don't know where I heard it at, but just by budgeting you save approximately 20% of your income. And the reason is because you start to notice what you're spending. You, like I said, I just went and got some coffee, right? Well, when like, oh snap, I've been spending $300 more than I actually make, then you're not gonna go get that coffee. You're gonna start to notice, like, oh man, oh, I spent 100 over there, 200 over there. That's the 300 right there. That was just a waste. You start to notice, oh, I don't even go to the gym, and I'm paying this gym. Oh, I haven't even been using this thing I signed up for online. I've been paying $30 a month. You start to see all these little things, and you withdraw from doing those things. You're gonna find 20% right there. So often we don't do our budgeting and our financial planning because of the fear of facing our demons. But what it is you're gonna find some excitement often you're gonna find, some enlightenment, that you feel better because you're gonna realize tools and techniques that allow you to just do better with the resources that you do have. And so by budgeting, budgeting leads to saving leads to investing, and investing leads to wealth. So just from doing that, just tackling your credit, which is dragging you down, you tackle your credit by budgeting. So the phrase is, being broke is expensive. That expensive those expenses are mostly borne out in your credit rating. So lower credit, higher cost of living, and and higher inflation. You would have to be an economist to understand how those are connected. But basically, the lower your credit, as inflation goes up, your inflation go up higher than everybody else's inflation. So budgeting is what helps you capture more of your own resources, which can help you resolve your credit issues in that credit continuum, and helps you become your own banker. And as your own banker, you will become an investor. As an investor, you begin to build wealth. And that's just the nuts and bolts of it. Basically, being broke